right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It is our Friday show. It is Friday, August 15th, 2025. And there's been a lot going on in the community over the past day or so with all the new leaks and everything. Some things I want to jump into. We're going to talk about GAs, some things the community finds more entertaining in terms of the meta and 2-gun meta, 4-gun meta, snipers, all that garbage. New rumored Gentlemates roster, which kind of shakes things up for a couple of teams, and then some stats review towards the end. But I just want to jump right into it because I watched yesterday's stream of Zuma and Scrap when they went at it for 25 minutes talking about should snipers be GA'd. Scrap's point of view the whole time was just that it's cheese and it's overpowered, and if they had it on protocol, you would just drop bottom mid, peek out with a sniper, and it's just whoever hits the shot first, or whoever has a sniper. I guess his point is he just thinks it's too overpowered. Zuma thinks that makes you have to actually think, right? You can't just drop that mid. They might have a sniper. If they have a sniper, then you got to send someone else, push up under them, or take different routes. I'm obviously with Zoom as a fan. I want to see sniping in Call of Duty. That's what makes the game fun to watch. Gives it more moments. I think we talked about this before. I get pro players' point of view is like, oh, it's cheese. Some teams don't have a good sniper, right? Some teams don't have a simp or a dashy or a scrap, right? Or some teams are shit, but they can only snipe, and it's just a cheese way to, if they're too aim assisty and they just lock onto you across the map. I don't know. I get it, but like, dude, they gotta think about growing the sport or growing the esport. Like, people want to watch sniping. I talked about this last week. I'm pretty sure people want to watch people snipe in the Call of Duty. Like, that's just what it is. Like, we have to have more moments, more viral clips of someone hitting some crazy quickscope 2-piece, some collateral across the fucking map to start at round 5 or something crazy, or map 5 or round 11. Like, just stuff like that I feel like needs to be in. And the pros go back and forth, and they talk about their GA chat, and it sounds like a bunch of little kids. I'll be honest. I have no clue what goes on in there, but from what I hear from Zuma's stream and other guys' streams is they go in there, half people don't even answer. Some people are leaving the GA chat, and they just kind of, who wants to do snipers? They all kind of say yes, and they just move on from it. And then there's the whole argument of like they don't even enforce GA. So what happens if you pull out a sniper? What are they gonna do? Because people snaked last year and did different things, and there's really no consequences because there's no one in charge. It's kind of weird. The league just leaves it up to the players, and not like there's no one in charge. Like in every other sport in the world, there's someone who's in charge of all the rules. It's kind of up to the players to not schedule a scrim with that team for a week or so. So there's just no control, and then the players don't want to have to deal with it because they're worried about grinding and getting better, right? So it's like Zuma offered like the outside committee has a say in it, but then the players complain that they're not playing the game as much as them, so they don't know the game as well as they do. They don't know all the angles, all the routes, all the cheese spots. So that's kind of like they're saying a committee on the outside would never have an idea. But if the players don't want to do it from the inside, then someone's got to do it, in my opinion. I think it's previous pros mixed with maybe a pro from each team or a coach from each team or something that has some insight, and you can combine for a vote right there. And I think fans should have a vote and to say small things like snipers or specialists, which was kind of leaked that there's going to be specialists in this game. That was also another debate. Zuma doesn't like specialists. Octane said he likes specialists. Some players do, some players don't. Again, they think it's cheese. You can just pull out a fucking War Machine or a Tempest or Ground Spike, whatever the hell it is. And again, they think it's not as competitive. But what's also not fun to watch is 8 months of, like they talked about, especially if we don't get, like this year we got no new maps really. We got 1 or 2 compared to last year. We got a couple really good ones. It's the same maps, the same strategies. Like by a couple months in, every team knows the strategies. It's just a matter of who's better at doing them. The guns are the same. There's no change in the guns. Like, it would be sick. I'm like, oh fuck, he pulled out this sniper, or he pulled out that AR, or he pulled out this SMG. Like, there's slight variation for maybe small strategies, and you had to be good at all of them. So I mean, that's just been a really, really big topic of discussion. Most fans, I put up on Reddit. If I can find it, I put up what fans find more entertaining, just pure entertainment. And it seemed pretty much like everyone wants it in. I prefer to have as much stuff out of the game as possible. Optimally, the players will have to fist fight. All right, that guy's just messing about. I want to see a dynamic game as possible. Bring in specialists and snipers. I'd love to see a good true flex gun or one-off guns for certain hills. And that gives more value to certain players. Like if you're good at certain other guns or playing a certain role, that can kind of bring back that role type. I've heard people like Methods talk about back in the day. Some guys' roles where you run these perks, you run this gun, like that's what you do. Now everyone can pretty much run the AR and SMG and do the same exact thing. It's just a matter of who's better at it or who isn't. So yeah, some people say they want a 5-gun meta, 2 SMGs, 2 AR, S2 sniper, or a sniper. Because like in ranked play, the Jackal wasn't the best gun. People use the PPSH, people use the C9, and then obviously the Jackal. So people did run different guns in ranked play. Just the pros pick 2, and then that's kind of all there is. But mostly people just want different variables. I want as many different variables in the game as possible. I'd love for there to be new equipment stats, new jump spots, new attachment combos. Like, yeah, people just want difference. Like, we want when All Sudden Land comes again. Like, oh, here's all these new metas teams found at grinding for this event, right? All these different gun strategies, these different specialist combinations, these different perk combinations, like everything that can be mixed about. It just brings for variety. So when it's May or when it's March or April and we're in qualifier matches for major 3 or 4, whatever it is, there's still some variation in what we're seeing. It's not just like here's Vault Hardpoint again. We all know this. Get to P4 and you'll win the game. So I think the community wants some variation. They want it to be, obviously it'll feel more like the old game. Another topic of discussion was pick and ban systems. Like if you think a gun's too OP, then when if a team is gonna put you play, they love using it, then ban the sniper against them. Or don't ban the sniper against them and you use it as well. Like if it's so overpowered, then when you get into that situation, like pick and bans would be perfect. Hey, in this match we want to ban this gun. Because now it's like, oh, we've seen these two teams play before, but now they're banning these guns or banning those guns or banning these specialists. Like it just once again brings so much more variation to the playing field. I think one of the Zuma's points in the argument of the scrap was that like if it's so OP, why weren't you using it every single fight? Because there was the case on land. There was a few scrims and stuff like that where the sniper wasn't banned yet and all that stuff, and players weren't using it every single life. He's like, well, it's so overpowered. Why aren't you using it? And Scraps kind of just went back and forth with it. But I mean, it is true. If it's so easy and so overpowered, why wasn't fucking at least 1 or 2 people in each team running it? So I think they need to come around. It can't be the same thing every year where it's half the players you don't even hear from. Like, there's only a few that are vocal in the community, and it's just like, yep, they all voted for it. It's gone. Like, and then it's just disappointing. Hopefully this year is different. It seems like we're going back to a Black Ops 4 style. Like, it's kind of just building off Black Ops 6 with some more movement. Hopefully snipers come back. Specialists would be so much more fun to watch. I actually want to show a Shotzi clip talking about was it Shotzi? Oh no, where did I find it? I don't even know where I found it. It wasn't on his Twitter. It was just him, a clip somewhere I saw. But it was basically him saying that he's like, I think our esport needs it. He's like, yeah, of course it's cheese, but our esports needs it. Like, so is the op in CS:GO, and so is some other stuff in Valor and all these other games. Like, yeah, there's cheese, but maybe the esport needs it. It brings, like he was saying, it brings in more people, which is like really true. Like, these casual Black Ops players, they're gonna be regular players are gonna love specialists and all this stuff coming back. It's so much fun to get a power up and go out on the map in a multiplayer game and use it. But they get to see clips of the best players in the world using it and the crowd going crazy if someone hits a crazy Tempest fucking chain kill. Like that, those clips and those moments are what bring new people in. At the end of the day, that's what every player's goal should. Obviously, you want to win as a player, but you also shouldn't be trying to hinder the growth of the league you play in. Because at the end of the day, this is their job, right? And there's so many people's jobs surrounding it, content-wise, production-wise, and all that. So if they should all want to try to grow this thing. I think that's the best way possible, is give it some variation. Another thing that has been leaked is Uplink possibly returning. I'd actually be really excited for that. I think that's like a fun competitive mode. I definitely played it. I never played it competitive. I wasn't playing like ranked back then. I also didn't watch competitive COD back then. But I think would be a ton of fun to watch. Control has grown on me. Sometimes it's fun when it's a week 2 in a qualifier for major 2, and it's FaZe versus some shit team and it's map 3 and they're gonna blow them out. It's not fun, but On land, those round 4s, round 5s, offense, defenses, when it comes down to those few lives, it does get pretty intense. So I will say I don't want to fully hate on control. But I feel like uplane could be actually a ton of fun. One, it's a change. We haven't had it in years, so just something fresh and new to see. They're adding some new movement, like wall bouncing, possibly, where you can run on it briefly or maybe just bounce off of it. So I think that'd be fun. Again, it'd be fun to see teams try to adapt and learn a new mode they haven't played in years. So a lot of new leaks from this Ghost of Hope guy. That I feel like he's the one leaking all the Black Ops 7 stuff. Like there's no tac sprint apparently. There's no like door bashing. There's gonna be like no doors. So just a really good change up. I think people are saying it's like the MW3 of MW2. Like Black Ops 6 is the MW2, and now this is the year they're like, okay, they set the base, and now this year they're really gonna build on it. Just like MW2 was like shit, and then MW3 they built on it really well. Some leaked maps, already like raids supposedly coming back. The fucking boat map, I can't even think of it, but so apparently it's a lot of Black Ops 2 maps will be in it. So maybe we'll have a set of some Black Ops 2 maps this year in competitive, and hopefully along with some new ones. I don't want just old maps. Like hopefully they bring back, put in some new ones, and then they need to do what they did in MW3 where they add new maps as the season goes. Like once a qualifier, every maybe after stage 2 they add another 2 maps or so. Like get it to the point where at the end of the year, like there could be whole series of brand new maps almost, like at least in the best of 5. Just again, it's variation, keeping people interested is kind of what we kind of want to see as a community. There's a lot of hype for this new game. There's a hype for every single new game. There always is. People get excited every single year. All these leaks come out. We haven't even seen the playtests, and the players haven't gotten played it yet. But I think there's good hope between all this roster drama going on, between all the GA talks. Hopefully it keeps getting more and more put out there, and players get pressure to like, fuck it, let's just run snipers, let's run specialists, let's run all this. Like, we'll just screw it, we'll do it. So I don't know. I'm hoping to see it. Hopefully the players come around. There's only time will tell. I mean, it's still only August, bro. The season starts till what, like fucking December. They play 2 weeks and then they go on a month break, which is a kind of a shit schedule. I hate that, but we have time, so we'll get back around to it when that time comes around. But a new roster was leaked for the Gentlemates, because that's another big team. Like they weren't in the running for, the Thieves and FaZe. I mean, I guess Falcons honestly. Yeah, well, I guess we'll get into it. There's a lot to talk about here, but it was mostly like Thieves, FaZe, Falcons, Koi kind of making their moves. Heretics just need their one, but they have a good core. Obviously, Optic is sticking, and they're the best team in the game. But now Gentlemates apparently are getting Envoy, Ghosty, Neptune, and Sib, which kind of screws over this Falcons roster because they were supposed to have Sib, which their comms would have been shit, and their leadership probably would have been shit, but Sib at the end of the day is a slayer, and if you put him around good players and they can figure out a way to make it work, if Exnid progressed the way he was, like Sib can play really well. Towards the end of MW3, the last 2 stages in champs, he was like electric, especially with guys like Hydra on his team running around. This guy's holding down the point. It allowed him to just do his thing and shoot his gun. I think a lot of people sleep on him because this year wasn't a great year for him, but yeah, he was supposed to be on Falcons. Apparently it was him or maybe Ghosty or maybe Nasty, or there's a couple different players, but now I don't really see who they get, because right now this is kind of who we think is all the teams right now. Obviously G2, Cloud9, Sergeant Royal Ravens are just absolutely fucked. But apparently, I honestly like this team a lot. You have two guys dropped from a team last year that was supposed to be a super team, 1-2 chips, and now they get dropped right after that. They're going to be pissed off, hungry, and looking to come make some noise. Neptune just lost 4 fucking grand finals. There's no way he's going to be okay with that, and he finally got a taste of being in the league and being a star and not getting dropped right back down the challengers. So I think he's looking to continue at, and Sib is finally looking to get back on a team. That's actually good. Cloud9 was ass last year, so it's kind of just compared to his Surge and MISL days. He can get on a good team now and actually probably have more fun and look forward to actually grinding more. But again, this is the team that you don't want to see. I talked about it last week. You don't want to see this team in first round. You just fucking don't. If Sib is hot and Neptune is hot, this team is gonna beat upset top teams probably every single event. Again, I don't know if they're gonna win an event, but you have great leadership and great comms out of these two, and you have just absolute skill from the other two. So I think it's a really good combination. I think it's a great pickup for Gentlemates. That's a huge fan base, especially for these players to build their brand if they want to, like they're not Falcons money, but they're a very, very big brand. We saw Skies and them getting tons of likes and views on their Twitter from being on this team last year, and they sucked, right? So if we can get an event overseas, in the UK or just somewhere where we're gonna have more fans for the Gentlemates and other squads like that, I think it'll be a lot of fun, especially if they're good. Because instead of just Optic Greenwall making noise, we'll have some other fans to have something to cheer for. And like I said, then it comes to Falcons. Like if these rosters are all set and who's on them right now, who do you go get? Like you have Selim, you have the one of the FaZe trio, like an all-time great AR. This dude has been MVP level player for years now. Pred was great in the past. Last year was an iffy year, but he also left halfway through, right after the break. He came back, left, and came back. Wasn't able to find the flow. It was just a weird year, so I think he's still surrounded with the right people. Pred is a superstar S-tier SMG. And again, what makes it weird is they still have Exnid on this team. Like it just makes it weird because again he has tons of upside, but this is the team that looks like with these two you're like, all right, this is starting to form some kind of super crazy team right here, and then it's Exnid, and it's just like you can't make any predictions on this team until Exnid is figured out, right? Until next year comes out and he proves to be at least a role playing B-tier SMG. If he comes out and he just can't compete and stay on the same level as these guys, it's going to be hard because last year he stood out on that Falcons team when it was all Saudi players, which isn't that hard. And he definitely was good, but when you're surrounded by really bad players in comparison, you're gonna look great. And then when the other players came in, it still wasn't a great roster. They knew they weren't ranking champs. No one expected anything from them, so he still kind of was able to play his role. He wasn't going off like he was before, but he still had some decent maps and stuff. But again, now you're on a team that's they're out there spending money to win championships. They went and got Selim. They have their secured Pred. Like they're trying to win a championship. So who is your fourth to make that happen? I've seen people say, I don't know. I think Kismet they talked about maybe someone switches to Flex, AR. Nasty wouldn't be a bad shout. Nasty I think is good comms, so this team is missing, and he's also just a good AR. He's made multiple grand finals last year and the year before. He's had a good past 2 years, so it could be someone you go after. But other than that, it's like it's a weird spot they're in. I don't know, because people thought this team was going to be a super team. They thought Ghosty was going to go here. They thought Scrap was going to go here. They thought just some of these other top, maybe Draza was going to go there. It looked like it was forming to be a super squad trio at the very least, and now it's in an awkward spot. Same thing with Koi, right? They dropped Insight. Miami still need one. So again, there's some still top teams that are looking for one, and I feel like wherever these dominoes fall, one is going to set up these bottom teams to go ahead and make moves. But it's like really, like I think you still have 1, 2, 3, rankings wise, Optic, Thieves, FaZe. And depending how these teams shake up, like Heretic's going against Snoopy and he can speak Spanish with these boys, like that's a top 14 to me, like an easily good chance to go make runs at winning a chip possibly. This team's only gonna get better. These are two young players that were studs last year, and if you go get another young player that can get put into a stable situation, a team that looks like they work hard, like playing together, I think Snoopy can thrive in that. That's if they can get him. I don't think they are. I think he's restricted. But again, who knows what they're willing to do, especially since they just lost Real in such a heartbreaking way. And then yeah, like I like this Boston team too. They showed promise last year, but if you lose Snoopy or even if you don't, like who do you go get? Right, Nasty. I just like Nasty as a player. That's why I keep putting him everywhere. But I know we still have a lot to see here. It's kind of calmed down the news, right? Obviously, we had this sources break, but nothing set in stone yet. And we have no further leaks or confirmations or anything like that. But there's still a lot of shakeup to go on. It just seems like, I mean, even none of this is set. Like the whole Drazo for Abusa, Kenny, none of that is technically set, but it seems like it is. So there's still a lot to go around that we're just not really sure about. And it's like crazy because it's really going to determine, like, some teams might get formed and push FaZe out of the top 3, and some teams might get formed and we just have the same top 3 Optic, Thieves, and FaZe. So I think it'd be weird to see, like, if Falcons don't get a relatively good AR or next fit, and then Exit doesn't turn up that well, it's gonna be really weird to see Stellium on a team that's not great. Like, I really want to see if his stats are gonna be. Will he still be dropping 1.2s per map? Because every time FaZe won, 1.2s. Every time they lost, 1.2s. Like, it really rarely changed whether they played good or bad, and that's why people blamed his play style, because it didn't, like, it clearly felt like when they won, it was just because the team is good and he's dropping the kills, but when they lost, right, the team chemistry wasn't there. Like, he was still dropping tons of kills, but you're losing. So it's something there didn't make sense, and obviously it's never good if you're just crazy positive every single map, even when you're losing. Like, that usually means you're probably just kill whoring or playing slow or not making plays or something like that. So it'd be really weird to see him not be on a good team. Like, if they're actually like 5th, 6th-ish, like, that'd be really weird to not see him win a chip. First of all, same thing with like FaZe. Like, this year could be weird. Like, if Optic go out and just fucking like 2-3-peat and Thieves win a few, like, to see teams like FaZe and players like Celium not even get a chip or not get close would be really weird. I don't think that's gonna be the case, at least for FaZe. This is definitely a really good team. But Falcons, man, it'd be weird. It'd be a real shakeup to see Celium losing. And then again, we're still waiting. Cloud9, like, we dropped everybody, even Lamar accuracy. Everyone's gone. So I don't know. We're gonna have to see where we end up. But one last thing I wanted to close on was I went back and did some stat tracking for Grand Finals hard points at Champs. So obviously between Optic and the Surge. We had Dashy with a 1.37 throughout hard points. He had a 3,200 damage per 10 and 3,700 damage per map with a 131 objective time per map. So he was the clear MVP in hard points just across the match. Statistically, he's assists and non-traded. I couldn't find the stats, like the in-depth stats for the final map, because the final map happened, the whole ceremony went on, and then the broadcast just ended. There was no like all these assists and non-traded came from the CDO broadcast stat scoreboards after each map, but they didn't have it for the last one. So, and then this is my my clutch KD stat, which is KD after both teams have achieved 200 points, whether it's 200 to 200 or it's 230 to 200 or 245 to 220. Like, once both teams have 200, then you start tracking the KD just to kind of show who plays well in pressure and who doesn't. Like, once it hits that crunch time, like, some players pick it up, some players get worse, some players just stay flat the same. The same thing for S&D. Once the score is 4-4, you track the KD, and then for Control, once your team has 10 lives or less, you track the KD. Again, it's just to track the players' performance in those crunch time big moments, right? You start off the hard point when it's 85 to 62. Like, it's obviously every point matters because in the end it's going to matter, but it's not as much pressure. You still know we have a couple hills to go. Once you hit 200 points, it's any good hill can win you the game. So players like Shotzi got better. Shotzi and Hook really shined with a 3 KD for them each across 2, because the one Surge didn't reach 200 points. So across 2 hard points from 200 points on, which both were really close, right? Remember both those hard point maps were close in score. Shotzi went off. The one map, what did he have? The last one to win Grand Champs, he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1. He went 8 and 1 in the last. Once both teams hit 200 points, he went 8 and 1. Right? And I don't even think his KD was like amazing in that map, but it was that last stretch. When Optic needed it most, they got those points. Surge broke the hill, then it was like, oh boy, if they don't rotate, this can get hairy. He showed up at the biggest, like in the biggest moment of the year, of the map, of the season, everything. Shotzi showed up and puts on an absolute performance with a 3 KD. I forget the total kills and deaths across the other mode, but again, I just like that stat because you can really track. I want to track it across this upcoming season, so you can see like, hey, this player so far through 2 stages is really good for the majority of the hardpoint, but then he falls off and the other teammates pick it up, right? Maybe a team is like struggling to finish off maps, and you go look at their stats and to see which players are falling off, or their star players looking like studs. Like, maybe a player ends +8, but they were +12, but in the last 200, the last 50 points of the game, they weren't able to keep that same pace, and that's kind of where they fell off. So it'd be interesting to see and track that kind of stuff. But yeah, Dashy laid the damage. For Surge, Uzabuza wasn't bad. He had a 0.9. Well, Nasty had a 0.97. Obviously, they lost. We all know that They lost all 3 hard points, so their stats are going to reflect that. But I thought that was interesting. I actually posted a picture of Merc. I'll just show it real quick. Where am I going here? It was Merc and Abuza comparing those stats that you just saw right there. And it was this one right here. Abuza 0.9, Mercury's 0.88, Abuza clutch KD 0.6, Mercury's 0.75, damage per map for Mercury's is 3,300, damage per map for Abuza was 31, and then objective time for Abuza was 59 seconds, and objective time per map for Mercury's was 1.10, or a minute and 10 seconds. A lot of people got pissed off at this because they're like, oh, cherry picking stats and this and that, when it was not even cherry picking. I literally just went back, tracked hard points solely, and then saw the 2 that were closest on each different team, and these were the 2 that were closest. Obviously, I think Mercury's is the better player. Right now, I'd want 100% Mercury's on my team. The other maps, he played well. Obviously, this doesn't factor in S&D, which he's amazing. He's a stud. All that stuff. So, this was solely just hardpoint. I just thought it was interesting. I don't think Mercury's is worse than Abuja just because of some of these stats. But yeah, I thought that was just interesting to track. And these are some things I'm going to track throughout the year. I'll keep you guys updated on how I'm tracking, any additions of things that I track throughout the year. But I think that's going to do it for this episode. Next one's not until Monday. Again, we're just waiting for more updates, more announcements that's coming with the game. Other than that, we're probably repeating the same shit, just in a different way. But until then, have a good Friday, and I'll see you on Monday.